Democratic leaders, House Intelligence Committee, under fire from Republicans, as you just heard there, for conducting so much of this in super secrecy and then cherry-picking the information that they share with the American public. Karl Rove on all of that. Karl, you've not been a fan of this process. It runs counter to former impeachment investigations over certainly the two prominent cases involving Bill Clinton and, of course, Richard Nixon. Not a fan of this.
No, not at all. Look, the Democrats keep saying the president thinks he's above the law. Well, the Democrats seem to think he is under the law as well, that he is not worthy of receiving the basic protections of our system. And in the case of both Nixon and Clinton, the president was the president who was accused had an attorney, his attorney, involved in the process. There were, particularly in the Nixon instance, interviews behind closed doors, but they didn't leak like these do. And the president's lawyer was in the room, and the majority and minority staffs in the Nixon case were actually run as a unitary staff. Peter Rodino, the Democratic chairman of the Judiciary Committee, appointed a Republican lawyer as the chief counsel for the impeachment, and he ran the majority and minority staffs as one staff together, so they made collective decisions. And the president then, as President Clinton later, President Nixon and then President Clinton, had their lawyer in the room. They could recommend witnesses, they could suggest questions, they could participate in the questioning, and at the end of the presentation of the evidence, the president's lawyer was given time to respond. And none of that's happening now. What we've got is a selective process involving Democrats calling witnesses and then leaking what they want about them, and the Republicans being basically potted plants for the whole process. Not the kind of thing that's going to build public confidence in this process as it moves forward.
We're told, Karl, that Nancy Pelosi feels she does have the votes there to go ahead and begin a formal inquiry, but that she doesn't have to do that. What if she were to just call the president's bluff and say, all right, we're going to vote on this? How would that change things?
Well, it would give, first of all, it would thereby automatically, under the rules, guarantee to the minority certain rights. They would have the right to subpoena witnesses. They would have the right to participate in any discussions with potential witnesses. The president's lawyer would be present. The president's lawyer could suggest witnesses. He could suggest questions. He would have the right under the rules to present in essence, a rebuttal to the following the presentation of evidence. None of those rights exist today because one person, the Speaker of the House, has decided that she can determine when there's a formal impeachment proceeding or not. That has never happened when it has involved the President of the United States before. Let her have the vote. What the first thing would show is more Democrats would vote against the impeachment inquiry than Republicans who voted for it, in my opinion, because this is not justified. At least knowing what we know today, the idea that there was something of value exchanged by the president in that call with Ukraine is frankly ridiculous.
All right, Karl. Thank you very much. Karl Rove in the